the Tua market. I've talked about this with Peter King yesterday, Ian, and how the Tua market is an iffy subject, seemingly all of a sudden, despite the video that came out that shows him looking spry, and the question about the Tua market and Justin Herbert and the evaluation. Mel Kiper having Herbert over Tua in his mock draft to Miami. What are you hearing about on that front behind Burrow and the quarterback scenario?
I wouldn't be that surprised if Herbert goes over Tua. There's a lot fewer questions. I mean, you have some questions with Herbert where it's like you want a little more. And I think anyone who spent time watching him just from the TV copy, not all 20, just like the regular TV copy of Herbert, you say, there's so much there, I want a little more, just some more plays. But as far as questions go, that's basically it. Like, he's a good, smart kid, looks like a quarterback, great hair. I mean, there's a lot to like there. With Tua, there's just a lot more questions. And the problem is, Rich, everything health-wise he's done perfectly. Scans are great. He had no loss of blood. His mobility is great. He looks athletic. He looks like a quarterback. You still don't know what's going to happen in like 3 years or 2 years or 5 years or 20 years. It's just, you just can't predict it. And so no amount of discussions will help you predict what's going to happen basically to his body. And then the other thing is, like we were talking about with Jordan Love, once you get, like, let's say somehow that the Chargers go, you know what, we're rolling with Tyrod, we're going to take a left tackle, and we're just going to be okay. Well, then who actually takes Tua? Like, if he gets past 6, I mean, maybe the Raiders, but, like, actually who? And that's one thing I'm going to have to make sense of come draft night is, like, if he starts to slide, where are the teams that will come grab him?
Well, what about Jacksonville? I mean, Jacksonville's sitting there towards the end of the front 10, and they have Gardner Minshew. Obviously, Minshew mania was terrific. The question is how sustainable might he be as a quarterback in this league, as a starting quarterback in this league? Cam's out there, Jameis is out there, Dalton's out there. What do you think of the Jaguars market and thoughts? And then, of course, you've got those veterans sitting out there. If you can put those all together for me, Ian.
Yeah, I think for the quarterback market for the Jaguars, I mean, I've heard some Dalton stuff. I know they're interested. I don't think they trade for Andy Dalton, but I know that they're interested in him as a possible backup if he gets released. I have not heard anything, and I do believe at some point they bring in a backup quarterback. I haven't heard that they would take a starting quarterback in the top 10. I mean, to me, they seem more like a team that either one could trade out and just fill different holes on the roster, or like Isaiah Simmons would be someone who you could see if he's even there, just moving them all around the defense and having some fun, being sort of like the kind of like Cam Chancellor basically in that Seattle-ish defense. For them, I mean, they seem like they're going forward with Minshew mania, and the trade of Nick Foles, to me, all but solidified that because they weren't even going to let a training camp competition happen. It is all, mustache going forward for Jacksonville.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.